Indonesia.
Around the neighborhood.
Around
She
the
says that
neighborhood.
regionally, right?
Yes, regionally, but really, big ups to him. That's super cool.
Big up at tender age of 12. He's got the
Yep.
whole future is waiting for him.
But you know what, Jay? In Malaysia, we also have so much of talent. And
Indeed
over
we
the
do.
year, we've been showcasing all of this talent, especially when it comes to music. Now, our next guest is, is very talented himself. Now, using rap as a medium of delivery and alternative hip-hop as a genre, Armon creates a melodious meld of something distinctive, catchy, and relatable. Now, emphasis also lies in the craftsmanship and his lyrics, as he believes in the power of sending meaningful messages through his music. Take a look at what we mean in this music video coming up next.
Where we were to the stars we looked upon, and we've come this far. I know I'm meant to be, it's plain to see. If I'm with you, it's a promise that I'll spend my life holding on to now, always love together. It's a story written about you. Everyone can say typical boy needs you, but each special with its own beauty. Back at the moment it brings back the funny little butterflies soaring subconscious that believe that this life of search seems to be over. Even if the first time was weird and plenty awkward, it's our life that we're getting. Let's do it now. We got our ways in this love. Do it together. Where we were to the stars, I looked upon, and we've gone this far. I know I'm meant to be, it's plain to see. If I'm with you, it's a promise that I'll spend my life holding on. So now, always love together now. Always love together now. Always love together now. Always love, 'cause it's me and you together. There were times they were up, there were times they were down. I'll put together a tornado, a whirlwind. We call love, but that be the truth of our lives with one another. Even if the world would crack and we go to a galaxy far, far away, there is no other. I got my first mate in this odyssey now. Always love together, no matter what happens, we ain't leaving. Let's do it now to make it always in this love. We build it together. Where we were to the stars, we looked upon, and we've come this far. I know I'm meant to be, it's plain to see. If I'm with you, it's a promise that I'll spend my life holding on to now, always love together. This is now, this is always, this is love, and both of us together. This is not now, we got always this thing called love, and both of us together. This is now, this is always, this is love, and both of us together. Let's start now, we got always this thing called love, and both of us together. Where we were to the stars, we looked upon, and we come this far. I know I'm meant to be, it's plain to see. If I'm with you, it's a promise that I'll spend my life holding on. That now, always love together. Now, always, this is always, this is love. Always, both of us together. This is now, always, this is always, this is love. This is now, always, this is always, this is love. And both of us together, let's start now. We got always this thing called love, and both of us together.
Wow. And now we're about to find out the meaning behind those messages as Armon joins us in the VBuzz studio this evening. Welcome to VBuzz, Armon.
Hello, 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 hello.
Thank you so much for joining us. You know,
problem.
that video, that's an absolutely beautiful song right there.
Thank
Could you
you.
tell us a bit more about the video and the song?
Okay, that's a love story. It's a love story. It's actually a song which I wrote and recorded for my wife. Now Always Love Together, actually it spells out our initial, which is NALT.
Okay.
So I actually did that song and prepared it just for my wedding reception. Got it ready.
wow.
Out there, that's when we put it out. And so happened it's going to be in my next album as well. So yeah.
Brilliant. All the ladies out there are melting and the guys are getting in trouble. Like, how come you don't write me a song?
You know what? I hear that. I hear that because I already wrote her 2 songs. So they're like,
Wow, that's
what's
really
next? What's
nice.
next?
Wow.
She's not a lucky lady there.
Indeed. But you know, with regards, let's speaking of stories, you know,
Right.
that song was a love story, but let's
Yep.
talk about your story.
Right.
So the name Armon, where did it come from?
Well, I'm a rapper. So all rappers try to think of the coolest name that
Yeah.
we could have. And I went through a list of it in my life. And finally, I thought, you know what? Why don't I pick my second name? Because my full name is Nigesh Armon. My second name, Armon, which is also my dad's name. So I decided, you know what? Let's take his name as a tribute to him
Yeah.
Yes.
as I do my music.
And I must say, your dad has a really cool name.
Yep.
Yep, Armand's a really cool
Oh,
name.
that's a whole
now it's
long story
yours.
behind that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we have a whole lot of time for you to
Okay,
share it.
Well, from what he told me,
Yes.
because back then in Penang, they didn't really have a place to stay. So they stayed in a church outhouse. So when he was delivered, actually the nuns were the ones who helped
Yep.
deliver him and all that. And the name came from there. And then later on, like I think few days after that, only then they went to the registration office. So he actually has 2 names, Armon alias Armugam.
Oh, wow.
So a very
Alright.
long IC name that he has. So, yeah.
Okay,
Very
now,
cool.
Now let's talk about you, Armand. Tell us when you first developed this love for music.
Oh, okay. It took me a while. It actually happened in college, but when I was really young, 6 or 7, can't remember. But my parents put me through organ. Electrical organ. So I went through that all the way until grade 5, which is actually near diploma.
How was that like for you?
You know what, as kids, we don't understand what our parents are trying to do.
Yes.
So, you know, I was like, oh no, every Sunday I've got to go for organ class. No, I want to stay at home. But then later on, when I went into college, I actually did performing arts, which is acting and all that.
Yep.
It's then when I learned that I actually love performing, but I didn't know it was music yet.
Right.
Then slowly influences here and there. I was in a rock heavy metal band, and then I started rapping, and then finally, I think it was a juncture at a point where a friend actually dragged me into a studio.
Okay.
That's when it just really clicked in my head that, yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Music's the thing.
All right.
You know, initially going from, you know, Armon, the organ player, into Armon from the heavy metal Armon to the, you know, hip hop,
Oh, it's a journey.
right? So it's a whole journey. But, you know, growing up at home, you know, as a kid, did you come from a very musical household?
In some sort, yeah, because my dad, he was a sitar player.
Wow.
Yeah, actually one of the biggest shows, I was a real small kid when, so one of the biggest shows I saw him perform in was, I think, it's a tribute for Mahadi or something like that.
Okay.
He was on stage and he was playing it. My mom, she used to dance Bharatanatyam and all that. Yeah, and she sings as well, as much as she doesn't want to admit it, but she does.
Okay.
So music was there. Wasn't the main focus, but it was there.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, subliminally gave me the influences.
Yeah,
I
you
grew
know,
up.
you just pick
Right.
up along the way. But there are definitely artists that, you know, that stand out to you throughout your years
Oh.
growing up. Could you mention a few to us?
Well, of course, like that first cassette I bought myself. Actually, I saved the
Everyone
money, but
remembers
yeah,
the first cassette.
That one, and I didn't even buy it here in Malaysia. I bought it in India.
Right.
Was Michael Jackson Thriller.
Wow, that's a good first cassette to
Yes,
get.
that was, I kept it on replay over and over
Did
again.
you have to like wind
Use
it
the
with
pencil?
a pencil?
Oh
and
yeah,
turn it around?
yeah. When it didn't want to work anymore, I'm like, no, please work.
But we've been stalking you on your social media, and ever so recently you posted this video where Busta Rhymes, Eminem, Missy Elliott were performing at the BET
Yep.
Awards, and you said, you know, this is true music. Did you look up to them for inspiration?
Should I be scared that I'm being stalked on social media?
Oh no. By
Well-
us, it's pretty harmless.
Well, what I meant by that, because I don't mean no disrespect to anyone, but this new age of hip-hop music, because I do rap,
Yeah.
this new age of rap music that is coming out, there's some which I really cannot hear.
You're still watching VBuzz with me, Shangkharee, and JayWalia, and we are speaking to rapper Armon. Now, Armon, before we went off to commercial break, you were telling that you come from a rather artsy family. Your dad used to play the sitar, and your mum, you know, was a dancer, and she also did sing a little. So, did you know that, you know, going into a rather arts-driven industry was your career choice, or did you do something else?
On that one, my family were sort of artsy, but we are very, because my mom is an engineer as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My dad is an engineer who became a senior manager at a MNC company. So the direction for the family was actually that.
Okay.
My sister is a doctor, amazing
Wow.
doctor. So I was probably the rebel in the family, as you can see.
Yeah.
So my choices were a bit funny. Like I initially wanted to be a zoologist.
Oh, wow.
Then I thought I wanted to be a race car driver. Then slowly I was like race car engineer. Okay, fine, engineer. So that wasn't immediately aware that that's the line I'm going to go to. But over time, I did engineering. I was an engineer before this, and now I'm fully in music. Over time, it dawned on me as I did it more and more. And actually, the biggest thing which really hit me that this is it was it's just one of those days where I was just at home just thinking about it, and I just asked myself, why do I really write this music? Why do I do it? I got that question answered. It's because if I can, through my words or through my music, touch anyone in any way, big or small, I'm done. That's it.
Okay.
That'd be great for me.
So it's about making an impact, or even just, you know, putting a message out there that changes someone's life, you know, altogether. But, you know, your life was changed indeed, you know, doing music from, you said, engineering into music. But was there a particular point, let's say after one night in the studio where you recorded a song, or after a performance where you felt, I've officially entered the industry?
Hard to answer that one. That one is more of like every performance. I mean, to say when I entered the industry.
Was there an official date as to when you got into the industry?
Not really, but I think that day would be Valentine's Day 2014, when my first single came out, Silverline. So I think that would be the day where I would say, yes, this is the point where Armon has entered the industry.
Brilliant. We are getting close to the anniversary as well since Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And this was Now Always Love Together, I believe. Was that the single?
No. Now Always Love Together came after Silverline.
All right. Okay, sweet. Now, what were some of the earlier performances that you did? And also, what did you learn about yourself from those performances?
One is I'm always nervous when I go on stage. That never ends. And I hope it never ever fades away, because I know I'm always excited when I go up on stage. But the few things I learned as I performed, as I did my music, is one, like when I go on stage, I know that I do my performance every day, any time, because I owe it to those in the crowd. So no matter if it's a huge crowd or if it's just 5 people, I'll give it my all. I've learned that I cannot stand still on stage. I just keep on moving. And I've learned that what I would like to write about. And that leads up to what I'm actually doing right now with my album as well, where I'm writing my story, pretty much. So then came my producer, who also told me, like, okay, write your story, but make it relatable where people can understand and relate to that as well.
Okay, so you got this new producer. There's been a little change. You know, you used to perform solo. Now you've got a whole team behind you, a whole band behind you. So there's Ezra on the guitar, Chris on the bass, Ruben on drums and percussion, sit on keyboard, and Akzam on saxophone, Nicole and Adam on backing vocals. How has this changed you in your performance, coming from being, you know, a solo performer to having all these people come and join in on your music?
Completely, because as a solo performer,
-1 CD days.
That was exactly it. -1 CD, go put it in, and then just go with the sound. You don't have to worry about the sound system. It's just your mic. That's it. And the type of music that I used to do was that type of music. And then, bit by bit, I slowly started meeting these beautiful people. Actually, the idea for the band thing came from my producer, Madan Citrus. He was the one that said, you know what, it's part and parcel of the production of the album, where we produced each song, or each song started with actually an acoustic guitar. It may be a rap album, but it started with that. And our idea is if it cannot be stripped down to just one guitar, it doesn't make it. And he said, why don't you get a band? Do it with a backing band. It's something relatively new here. It's common in US, like with the Roots and all that kind of thing. But it's relatively new here. So bit by bit, all these people started joining me, and of course, each one of them has influenced me in one way or another. Like how Ezra plays his guitar, how Chris plays his bass and brings in the groove, how Ruben has that. I mean, that fit, just that gel was just amazing.
But
then
here's the thing,
in,
going from the -1 days, you know, and going into performing in a band, is there a particular piece of advice that your fellow musician has given you, one piece of advice that you still hold very, very close to your heart?
Actually, I would say I didn't get any advice from anyone on the band part of it, but it's just more of my own experience. Never be too self-centered when you perform with a band. I mean, there will always be one person who is the polarizing leader or whatever, but everyone has some sort of investment into it. Their feelings, their talent, what they put into it. So each one of them has something to offer. Like, I know, I will immediately admit, I'm not extremely musically trained. I'm good at writing music, but I'm not good at like telling, okay, play this note, play that note, and all that. And this is where I really defer to them. And when they tell me, okay, this is how we can do it, great. And then when we try to work it out, great.
It's really nice that you know meet people who can actually make you grow as a musician. Now we're still in the mood of that new year, new me kind of thing, because even though it's the end of January already, but 2016 is really such an exciting year for you because you're going to be releasing your debut album. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Okay, so I just went really all out with that one because I didn't want to do an EP even from the get-go. I didn't want to do just 5 songs. I wanted to do a full-length album. So it's actually going to be 9 tracks. We may put in 2 extra, which is some of my old production in there, remastered. But this album is basically my story from the beginning. So it's basically, imagine I'm a storyteller and I'm taking all these little alter egos out of my mind and telling you all these points of my life. And it's going from the beginning all the way to here. This is me now. And hopefully, with good God's grace, I get to do my next one. It'll be a completely different one where it's, hear me now. This is what is Armon at this moment in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're really excited.
Thank you so much, Armon, you know, and we can look forward to the Armon story on record coming up very, very soon as well. Looking forward to it. But Shangkharee, here's the thing.